Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Edpodia CA discussion. I'm your host, Aishu, and today, you know, we're doing a really deep dive into something that's a cornerstone of India's technological sovereignty. And joining me for this analysis is my brilliant colleague, Rahul.
Hey Aishu, hi everyone. It's really great to be here. We have a lot of ground to cover. Especially regarding India's industrial transformation. We're focusing specifically on the semiconductor landscape and how it's, completely reshaping our global standing.
Absolutely, Rahul. And I think the primary catalyst for our discussion today is a truly pivotal moment in our industrial history. I'm talking about the inauguration of the Kane Semicon plant in Sanand, Gujarat, which took place on 31st March 2026. It's a monumental step, especially considering it follows exactly 1 month after the commencement of production at the Micron facility in the same region. So, Rahul, when we look at the speed of these developments, what does the data really tell us about the current state of the India semiconductor mission?
Right, a huge milestone. Well, the data is quite striking, Aishu. Since the launch of the India Semiconductor Mission or ISM back in 2021, we've basically transitioned into what's now being called ISM 2.0. As of early 2026, the government is overseeing 10 major projects across 6 states, representing a total investment exceeding 1,60,000 crore rupees.
Wow, that's a massive figure.
It is. And the Keynes plant itself, that's a 3,300 crore rupee project that is particularly critical because it's one of the first Indian-led ventures to move from policy to actual commercial production in, record time.
That's incredible. And just to provide some context for our listeners, let's look at the global scale. Currently, the global semiconductor industry is valued at over $600 billion. India's domestic market is approximately $50 billion, but projections indicate we will cross the $100 billion mark by 2030. Now, Rahul, I think it's really important to clarify that this isn't a fab in the traditional sense, but an OSAT facility. Can you explain why starting with OSAT is such a strategic masterstroke?
Certainly. And that's a great point. While front-end fabrication, making the actual silicon wafers, is incredibly capital intensive and time consuming, OSRT, which stands for Outsourced Semiconductor Assembly and Test, is the back end.
Hmm? The assembly and testing.
Exactly. It involves the assembly, testing, and packaging of chips. So by mastering this, India captures immediate value in the global supply chain. The Keynes plant specifically produces something called Intelligent Power Modules, or IPMs. Each module integrates 17 individual chips into a single package. And get this, once it scales to full capacity, this single plant is expected to churn out roughly 6.3 million units per day.
6.3 million units daily is just a staggering figure. And these IPMs, they're indispensable for high growth sectors like electric vehicles, where they manage power efficiency and also heavy industrial automation. The trade statistics are also telling. Apparently, a large share of this output is already booked for export to a California based firm, Alpha and Omega Semiconductor. This effectively builds a Sanand to Silicon Valley bridge, doesn't it?
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. In the past, India was primarily a design house. We hold about 20% of the world's semiconductor design talent, but we lacked the physical units. The present is now defined by building a full stack ecosystem. For example, we've launched the indigenous Dhruv 64 microprocessor, a homegrown 1.0 gigahertz 64-bit dual-core processor built on open source architecture. This allows local startups to innovate without paying massive licensing fees to global giants.
That is such a vital point for national security, owning the brain of our critical infrastructure. But we also have to discuss, the dirt these chips are made of. How is India securing its supply chain against global geopolitical shocks?
This is where the 2026 policy updates are fascinating. India has officially joined PAC Silica, which is a US-led initiative for supply chain security. Domestically, we have the National Critical Minerals Mission and a 1,500 crore rupee scheme for mineral recycling. We are also establishing a rare earth corridor connecting coastal states like Odisha and Kerala to ensure a steady supply of gallium, germanium, and lithium.
Okay, so we're covering the whole life cycle.
The entire life cycle. We've even approved a 7,280 crore rupee scheme for rare earth permanent magnet manufacturing to control it all.
It really sounds like a complete vertically integrated ecosystem. But a factory is only as good as the people running it. So, what about talent?
That's the other piece of the puzzle. The Chips to Startup or CTUS program now involves nearly 400 universities, with the goal to train 85,000 high quality design engineers. This ensures that when that massive 91,000 crore rupee Tata PSMC fab in Dholera comes online, we have the local talent ready to go.
Precisely. So, we are shifting from being a witness to change to the leader of change. You're a great analyst, Rahul.
Haha, thanks Aishu. And you've laid it out perfectly. It involves three key shifts: decoupling from over reliance on single country imports, achieving vertical integration from raw minerals to OSAT, and implementing strategic policies like the Shanti Bill for energy security and big investments in quantum computing.
And I suppose the integration of semiconductors with artificial intelligence is the next frontier of this decade. I think the success of the Keynes plant serves as a powerful proof of concept that India's ease of doing business is yielding tangible high tech results. India is no longer just a consumer, we are becoming a reliable partner in the global value chain.
Absolutely. The Silicon Heartland of India is no longer some distant dream, but a rapidly maturing reality. It's been a real pleasure diving into these numbers with you, Aishu.
You too, Rahul. Well, this concludes our technical deep dive. For more detailed analysis and daily updates on these critical developments, make sure to subscribe to Edpodia. We really value your journey. So please share your thoughts or any analytical perspectives in the comments section below. See you in the next episode.
Thank you all for listening. Stay informed and keep analyzing.